Welcome to On the Cross Ministry, where we go deep to set the captives free. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel to ensure that we are able to help more captives to further God's kingdom. If you would like to sow into this ministry, you're not only supporting the healings, but we are also partnered with the Lighthouse in Loving Kindness International Ministries, where they look after the poor, the orphan, and the widow. So 50% of all donations go to this ministry, and each seed is prayed over to give you 1,000-fold in return. All details are in the description below to sow. Today I'm going to do an exercise more than a healing, because a lot of you that are going through a lot of spiritual warfare, you've experienced a lot of trauma, and obviously we know that trauma is an open door, it's a landing pad, and the purpose of these healings are to restore your soul, your mind, your body, your spirit, and uproot these beliefs and invite Jesus into this space. But sometimes when we have a core identity that's been established, that we are not able to break free because the core of our trauma is not lending itself to being healed, what can happen is deliverance doesn't occur. So this is what the exercise is to do, is to break that down to understand why you're really stuck. I want to take you back. Actually, before I get onto it, I have and I'll put it in the description below, the core identity healing. That might help you with this exercise. The core identity, the purpose of that is to bring every part of you in alignment to accept the healing, so that they're like, I want to be healed. There might not be parts of you that feel safe enough to be healed, which is what this is about. So we want to break this down even further. What I want you to do is just to get yourself into a space right now where you remember how bad things are for you when you are either being attacked, in physical pain, and just emotional turmoil, right? A lot of people can experience a lot of physical pain, right, in the attacks. And so where you are at in that point, we're gonna go deeper into that. So just make sure you've got a pen and paper, because I want you to, when you are in that space again, I want you to speak to that he or she that is going through that pain, so that they understand what this is all about. So when you're in this and you're experiencing an attack, or you're in physical pain, and quite often this could be manifesting through a spiritual attack at night, what is the core emotion? Right, write it down. Is it a physical pain? If it's a physical pain, write down what are the key places that you feel. So write down the areas. And what are the key beliefs that are coming through in that moment? Okay, so when you are in that space, what are you saying? What are you saying, and who are you saying it to? And then I want you to question that part of you, because remember, you're not identifying it now. You're looking at it as a third person, right? Which is what that core identity healing is doing, right? Is teaching you to look at yourself, because if you're speaking to yourself in the mirror, or you're speaking to a friend, what are you saying, and what is actually happening? And is there a sense of overwhelm with those beliefs? Is there anything that these beliefs are emotionally bringing to you? And those beliefs, do they make any sense? So for example, if you are trying to feel safe, or you're desiring in your pain to feel safe in that moment, but then equally you don't feel safe to, like, is there a contradiction between when you're in pain and what you want consciously? So identify any stalemates, contradictions, because fundamentally, you know, if you're wanting to live your purpose and you want to walk with Jesus, but then you're too scared to be in your purpose, so that's a stalemate. So then if you're in that stalemate, so why are you too afraid? So write down, what is the fear? What are you afraid of? And then go into that further. What is the root of this fear? And really understand where he and she are coming from. And I want you to ask if this space is where Jesus is in. Is Jesus in this space? And I just heard no. If he's not in this space, why is he not in this space? Do you not trust him? Can you not let him in? Or did you not even realize that you hadn't let him in? So the point of this is to really see where Jesus is at in the space. And if you haven't invited into the space that you have done in other healings, then this is going to block and hinder your ability to receive healing. Now, with every fear and I guess a lot of trauma, a lot of shame, a lot of anger. So let's dig deep and ask, like, what are the other, when you're in this space of pain and suffering and feeling targeted, what other emotions are you feeling? And does this feel like yours? Is this your pain or is this not your pain? Because this might be projected onto you. And this could be the demonic stronghold. But equally, there is the words that you use as well. Are you, ask or reflect on the fact that, are you doing witchcraft on yourself? Are you doing witchcraft on yourself? It's a big thing. Because you need to shut the mouth down when you're in this space. So you either have to turn to God, you have to understand what is going on and speak to that space. Speak life into that space. Tell that space that they don't have anything to be afraid of. Tell that space that in order for you to move forward, that you have to release that fear. What is the worst thing that can happen when you're in that space? You need to dig deeper into this area in order to break that stronghold. And you need to come out of agreement with everything. The thing is, when we are dying for change, but then we can't get change, or the change doesn't happen, that in itself freaks us out. But then when we're actually in that space to move into change, we don't realize that we're actually afraid of change. So none of that makes sense, right? That's another stalemate. So if you're afraid of change, if there's fear of change, allow yourself to release it. And this is what I do, or what I did in order to find peace. Is on a daily basis, I would ask the Lord, can you bring all the fragments, or Holy Spirit, all the fragments of me that is like stuck in X, whatever it may be, rejection, even when I wasn't feeling it, I would bring them all forward for healing. And I could feel, sometimes I could either maybe sense it around me or within me, and I would just breathe it throughout the day, and I'd be like, I'd just check in and go, okay, how are we getting on with this, like releasing the fear or releasing the rejection. So you can do that as well, especially if you've got a lot. And I did this a lot with like depression. I didn't realize how depressed I was as a child. And so it took me months to release that. And I just was just like kept bringing it forward, kept bringing it forward. So like I would go through a bit, and then the next day I'd feel some more, and I was like, okay, just keep bringing it forward, and then I'd feel some more, and I was just like emptying everything out. And for like, I don't want to exaggerate, but it felt like 3 months. It may not be, but it definitely was like months and months. Just felt so like heavy and depressed. But I knew I was processing it, and my husband was worried about me, and he's like, oh, is there anything I can do? I was like, no, I'm just working through this depression. It just sucks. But I worked through it. And it was months of it, of just like being okay with it and just being like, okay, just I'm bringing it forward, letting it go, bring it forward, letting it go. And you have that, you can do that as well. This is not just special to me. So I'm just wanting to share with you the stuff that you can do to break things down, so that it's at bite-sized pieces. And I think sometimes we don't realize, or I don't realize how some people think. So I think we have to, and this is what I've done a lot, and I think I need to start sharing it more, because when I speak to people, I'm like, oh, you're not doing that? Like, I just assume that people like think the way that I'm thinking, like just to heal. But like I said, that looking at yourself as a third person is going to be a game changer. So you're not getting dragged into your pain. If you can separate yourself from your pain and then calm yourself down, and have like techniques in which you can calm yourself down. So just either, then this is why this exercise is important. So you can speak life and go, look, you are safe. I know you don't feel safe, but you are safe. There's nothing that is telling you otherwise. I know you're feeling the pain. I know you're feeling the hurt, but just release it. I know how much fear you have, but you're safe. You're being seen. Whatever it is that you would want somebody to say to you, you have to say it to yourself. You can't expect others to do it for you. And this is going to help self-soothe you. It's going to help shift things for you. Because you know what the worst thing about healing is, especially if you're isolated, is not having the help. And I feel like sometimes help is good, but also being able to help yourself is even better. And a lot of the healing that I did was like the biggest breakthroughs were through my own effort. I had to see the revelations. So allow the space or this exercise to give you the revelations, to pinpoint exactly the state in which you are in and what needs to be said in order to get you out. So you're hitting the target in terms of seeing exactly what the beliefs are, exactly what is physically happening, exactly the emotions that are happening in that moment. And then just even bringing the emotions forward to bring healing into that space, and literally opening up the doors for healing. Because when you're, this is why it's a stronghold, because everything locks down. So we need to gain access points. So writing down what you're experiencing and the core emotions is gaining access and having that open communication, which is then able to have like, that lifeline for that part of you. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. But I pray that you are able to do this and navigate your way through it in order to break free. And it's going to take time. It's going to take patience on your part. And if you can give yourself that space to be kind with yourself, so you need to understand your whys. Why are you going through this? Why are you doing this? Why are you thinking this? Why are you scared? Like, ask these questions and understand what is the fundamental thing. Not just, oh, well, it's a demon and it's that. And obviously, I'm all with you with the demon and the witchcraft and all that. But how much of the witchcraft are you doing? How much of the demonic assignments are you believing? And how much of it is feeding into it? And that's how we're going to break it down, okay? So I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.